and state legislative action.
Thank you. Will you please come forward? Come on in. You can come on in. I see Russ. See Union.
Thank you so much, Madam Mayor and honorable council members, for taking the time to hear us on this really important issue. My name is Vicki Weeks, and I first brought this issue to the attention of the council back last December. And I'm joined today by an assortment, a cross-section of the citizenry that has signed, the hundreds of people who have signed the petition in support of the move to amend. Teachers, veterans, students, voters all. And they are here to join us today. I will also be joined in speaking by one of our community's astute business leaders, Ms. Kristen Russell, and also by Mr. Brett Hume, who is the head of the Regional Central Labor Council, which is comprised of 40 unions and 8,900 members here in the coastal region. My personal interest in passage of this resolution that's before you is twofold. One, on one level, a very personal and self-serving level, is that as a long-time investor in publicly traded securities, I'm outraged that some corporations are taking what should be shareholder profits and spending them on political campaigns that shareholders may or may not approve of, with absolutely no input from those shareholders. This is money that could be returned to shareholders in the form of profits, or it could be spent on increasing productivity, upgrading equipment, technology, so as to increase shareholder value. Either way, shareholders as owners would see more benefit from their investments. When it comes to supporting a political campaign, I am perfectly capable of supporting the campaigns that I choose to support. But on a deeper level, the level of being a citizen of this great country, I'm appalled that since the Citizens United versus the FEC Supreme Court ruling, massive, unidentified, and possibly foreign corporate contributors are overwhelming and controlling our information content, drowning out the voices of individual citizens in our electoral process. As I said, I'll be joined here by Kristen Russell and Brett Hume, and these people have been engaged in action here in this community. Ms. Russell has worked for years on board and committees of the Chatham-Savannah Citizen Advocacy and is now a principal organizer of the Forsyth Farmers Market. As I said, Brett is with our CLC. But we've come together here from across the political spectrum to present the signatures of over 700 Savannah voters who have signed the local Move to Amend petition and to call on you to pass this resolution. It's a resolution in support of a constitutional amendment to make it clear that the rights enshrined in the Bill of Rights, as was intended by the framers of our Constitution, belongs only to natural persons and not to corporations. It is no mere accident that the first three words of our Constitution are, "We, the people." Make no mistake, we don't believe that amending the Constitution is something to be taken lightly, but there are times in the history of our country that it becomes necessary. This amendment has been made necessary by the Supreme Court's Citizens United ruling that effectively equated money with speech. Senator John McCain recently issued a harsh assessment of this ruling, calling it the bench's worst decision ever. In response to equating money with free speech, Senator McCain told a capacity crowd at the University of Oxford They said money is free speech. Since when is money free speech? Money is money. Passage of this resolution will make it clear that Savannah's elected officials stand with their citizens in calling for an end to the use of unlimited, unidentified corporate money to influence our electoral process. Our Constitution protects the individual rights that are vital to safeguarding a free society. Only our most sacred rights are enshrined in the Constitution. Those are the inalienable rights of individuals. Corporations are created by people, acting through their governments. But it is we, the people, who confer legal rights on corporations. It is the people who allow corporations privileges, including limited liability and perpetual life. These rights and privileges are an important and useful role in our economies, but our most sacred rights, those enshrined in the Constitution, are reserved for we the people. This distinction between the inalienable rights of individuals and the legal rights of corporations is critical. And it is critical because with individual rights comes individual responsibility. Corporations, on the other hand, are created to explicitly avoid taking individual responsibility. This critical distinction is what is at the heart of the need for this amendment. This amendment affects only corporations, but it does not eliminate any legally assigned rights. It simply clarifies that constitutional rights are reserved for the people, individuals who accept individual responsibility for their words and actions, not artificially created legal entities. It is the individual who takes responsibility for their action that is accorded the inalienable rights guaranteed by the Constitution. Finally, it's important to point out that the proposed amendment applies equally to all corporations. There's no exceptions for nonprofit corporations or incorporated labor unions, and this might be why this amendment has garnered the bipartisan support in Congress. You can simply turn on a television to see the corrosive effects of the Citizens United decision. It's created an election system that is awash in millions of dollars of negative ads of dubious truth paid for by unidentified, unregulated money. The voices of individual citizens have no chance of being heard in this flood of cash, and politicians are increasingly beholden to wealthy special interests. We here have joined with the large and growing majority of Americans from across the political spectrum that are tired of the situation. We believe that corporations exert too much influence on our daily lives and our political process. A recent Hart Research poll found that nearly 4 in 5, 79% of voters, registered voters, support passage of a constitutional amendment to overturn the Citizens United decision. This response was consistent across Republicans, Democrats, and Independents. Attorneys General from 22 states filed briefs in support of a legal challenge to the Citizens United decision. 8 state legislatures have already passed resolutions calling for this amendment, and nearly 300 cities have passed resolutions in support of it. 300 cities have understood the importance of standing with the 80% of voters who are calling for this clarification. While you can't please all of the people all of the time, a chance to please 80% on one issue is something that I would say shouldn't be missed. The movement for a constitutional amendment to overturn Citizens United decision is growing rapidly, and we ask this council to stand with Savannah citizens, Savannah voters, and Savannah people on the right side of history. Please vote today to approve this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you.